r/AskReddit. What's a law that is rarely enforced? Pubs in Australia are legally required to provide somewhere to hitch and water your horse. They don't. They're also meant to cut you off before you get too drunk. Whoa, let's not get too crazy. Too drunk has an entirely different meaning in Australia. In Denver, it is illegal to lend a vacuum cleaner to your neighbor. Well, illegal to lend a vacuum to a next door neighbor, but it's perfectly okay to lend a vacuum to a friend down the street. I can't believe there isn't a task force dedicated to putting these people away. Might I ask, why? Because assigning a task force to vacuum cleaners would be wasteful. In the UK it's illegal to handle a salmon under suspicious circumstances. The British royal family also has the right to claim ownership of all unmarked nude swans swimming in open waters. Which raises the question, how do they mark nude swans? With a marker, duh, right? Check this guy out who has never marked a swan. That's all we used to do when I was a kid. In late July, the worshipful company of vintners and the company of dyers meet the master of the Thames and go up and down the river looking for cygnets, baby swans. When they find one, it gets 1 or 2 notches cut in its beak, 1 for the vintners, 2 for the dyers. Unmarked ones belong to the Queen. They've been doing this since 1743, when they were given permission to raise and eat swans. Giving alcohol to an intoxicated person. Practically every country forbids to sell alcohol to someone already drunk. But it's very rarely enforced. It helps bad keepers to tell people they won't be served anymore, though. Edit, barkeepers, not bad keepers. In university, I tried my hand at driving taxi for some extra cash. It was funny to learn from the city there were a couple of reasons I could refuse a fare. One being if the person was drunk. Basically the same, used in case somebody was really drunk. I did do it twice. Once a sober guy caring care of his friend came up to ask for a ride and his friend kicked my window so hard I still don't know how it didn't break. The sober guy just looked at me and said, "You're not going to take us, are you?" "Sorry, no." I said. He understood. Another time some guy put this guy in my car so drunk he couldn't speak. Couldn't tell me where was going. I felt bad for the guy and was going to drive him home for free. But nobody knew him. He couldn't tell me anything. Didn't even understand to give him some ID so I could figure it out. I had to talk him into getting out so somebody else could help him. In South Carolina, when approaching a blind intersection in an automobile, you must discharge a firearm 3 times into the air to warn horse traffic. It would be so much more entertaining to drive in South Carolina if this was enforced. You also have to shout yee-haw as you do it. Coincidentally, 3 gunshots spaced 5 seconds apart is a standard way to let people know you are lost in the woods and help them find where you are, especially while hunting. Not really a law, just interesting / potentially useful information. I prefer using an SMG to fire bursts that correlates to Morse code. There is a law in Singapore that not flushing a toilet is illegal and incurs a fine of $150. It isn't as enforced as other laws though. That's one that needs to be enforced all over. If I enter a restroom and there's some yellow mellowing in the toilet, I flush a couple times first before actually using it and flushing again, just to spite the unhygienic reprobate who thought they were helping the environment by disgusting me. If you don't flush after you use the toilet, you can assume that I'm doing this every time, and your pathetically insipid water saving measure is actually very wasteful. In the US though, under California Vehicle Code 26708 Subdivision A2, a person shall not drive a car with any object or material placed, affixed, or installed on the vehicle which obstructs or reduces the driver's clear view through the windshield or side windows, which includes anything ranging from air fresheners to graduation tassels. A cop can't pull you over because you look like you are the type of person that has been doing something illegal or it's harassment. They can pull you over for having an obstructed view and then claim to smell marijuana and search your car. If you're a dick about it, they'll hold you without charge for 24 hours. Legal loopholes, man. That's why you shouldn't have a bad cop, no donut sticker on your back window.